everyone, it's Heidi from Blue Scallop Creations, and I'm here with a project for the Cat Scrappiness design team. Today I'm going to show you how I made this really cute Halloween circle-shaped card. And I'll be using the Never Ending dies from the Cat Scrappiness Shop. This is Never Ending Circle dies. And I will also be using a stencil from Echo Park called Bats. And for the front of the card, I'm going to show you how I customized the texture paste that I used with the stencil. And I did that by using just a plain white paste from Ranger, along with my Memento Tuxedo Black re-inker and some Bow Bunny sugar glitter paste. So this is a really fun project, so let's go ahead and get started. So to create the card base, I'm starting off with a full-size 8.5 by 11 piece of white cardstock. And I am scoring it down the middle at the 5.5 mark and folding it down. And it's helpful to use like about 100 or 110 pound cardstock. The thickness will really help to hold the texture paste so that it doesn't warp the card so much. And to create this circle shape on the card, I'm taking the largest circle from the Never Ending Circle dies, and I'm just placing it over the top of the folded note card so the top of the circle goes a little bit over the edge. And I'm going to secure it down and run it through my Sizzix. And that little bit over the edge gives you the fold you need to get the circle-shaped card. So that part, the little edge part, isn't getting cut. So I'm loving making these shaped cards recently. They're just a lot of fun, and it's a great way to get more out of your dies. So next I'm going to secure down my card with Post-it tape, and I'm going to cover the back a little bit to prevent it from getting any texture paste on it. And then I'm going to use the stencil from Echo Park called Bats, and I'll be securing it down on top of the note card with more Post-it tape. And you just kind of want to arrange it over the top to get the bats where you want them. Get the most bats you can covering the front. And then I'm just going to use a paper plate, and I'm going to get mixing and creating my customized texture paste. So I'm taking white texture paste with some Memento Black re-inker, and I'm going to create a black texture paste. Now you can get black texture paste, you can buy it at the store, but most people, if you just have this white texture paste, you can use it for everything, and you can kind of make it your own and add colors to it just by using re-inkers and kind of get the same effect. So it's just really easy to customize it. So I'm adding the white paste to the plate, and then I'm going to do the re-inker and just kind of mix that up with a palette knife. And I make enough so I have a little bit extra in case I make a mistake, which I did a couple times on this card. So I had a little extra left over, I could make a new card. Trust me, it doesn't always turn out perfect the first time, but that's okay because that's what real life is like. So I'm just adding a little more ink to kind of get it. I want to get a really dark black color. And next I'm going to add the sugar paste. Now this is it's like a smoother texture paste than the white paste. So it's nice because it not only adds the sparkle to the black paste, but it also kind of loosens it a little bit and makes it more pliable. So it's really easy to spread over the stencil. So I'll just add a little bit more to that. And I also tried this with perfect pearls. So if you have some just pearl colored perfect pearls at home, you could try that as well. You don't get as much of the iridescent look as you get with this sugar paste. So it's up to you what you like, but you still get a nice sort of frosty look. So I'm just running it over my stencil with a old gift card, and you just want to make sure you get every little bit over the stencil covering all the bats. Make sure all the little crevices have texture paste in them. And just kind of scrape everything off. And then you want to quickly, when you're done with all this, get your stencil, your gift card, and all your palette knives and everything into the hot soapy water to clean all this stuff off so it doesn't dry on your products. And then the moment of truth lift up the stencil and you get this great textured look. I was holding my breath the whole time while I was doing this. But so that looks pretty good. So I'm going to set it aside to dry and get started on the front of my card. I cut a couple of circles from, I think it's the 4th size circle on the Never Ending dies. I cut one in black and one in the bright green color. And this is going to be where my sentiment is. And I'm using a sentiment from this Gerda Steiner stamp set. And I'm going to do some heat embossing. And I'm just going to, I've used my magic powder bag on the front to make sure there's no powder that will stick to it. And then I'm just going to stamp the first part of the sentiment from the set. And then do just a quick embossing with some white embossing powder. This is Wow, just a bright white embossing powder. And then I'm going to run my heat gun over that. And the sentiment from the stamp set is really cute. It has, it says, "I bet you don't know," and then I'll show you what I'll do on the inside. I'll continue on the sentiment on the inside. And it's just a cute, cheerful Halloween card. So I got that all heated. And let's see, now I'm ready to go ahead and I'm going to do the inside of the card with the sentiment. And you can see all the pretty shimmer that happened after the texture paste dried. It's really nice. So then I'm going to do the inside just in regular black ink. Just stamp "How much I love you." I'll get that right in the middle. And then just to kind of decorate around it, I'm going to add some hearts from the Hero Arts Stamp and Cut Prayers set. They have some really cute hearts in different sizes. So I'm just going to kind of stamp those in a triangle pattern surrounding the sentiment. And it just kind of, it's sort of a design trick when you stamp little embellishments in a triangle. It's pleasing to the eye, I guess they say. So that's all set. And now I'm just going to put together the focal point, the 2 circles together on my card. I'm just going to use some glossy accents to adhere them together. And I'm going to leave the little black piece kind of peeking out a little just as a shadow. Next, I'm going to stamp one of the bats from the stamp set. And I'll have all the supplies I used listed on my blog, so if you want to see the names and things like that, you can go to my blog. And also on the Cat Scrappiness website blog, I will also have everything listed. Right now I'm just stamping the bat, and I'm just going to color it a little bit, and then I'll cut it out and use that for the front of the card as well. I'm using some light and dark grays, and then a little bit of purple to color the bat wings. I didn't want to just make a plain colored bat, but I didn't want to make it too colorful because bats aren't really different colors. But I thought that the purples would be nice because it would kind of go with the Halloween theme and some of the sequins that I'm going to be using. So I'm just doing some quick Copic coloring and shading. And I'm more into cheerful rather than scary Halloween cards, so I love the way these little bats look that are in the stamp set. They have funny smiles, and they're just you know, happy. So I'm going to add some of the light purple Copic marker all over the wings. It's sort of like a blue-violet color. And then I'll also use some of the darker purple for the lines on the wings as well. And I'll be gluing this bat onto the front of the card just using a simple little foam dot. So because the main focal point is the texture paste on the front, but I just thought the little bat was so sweet, it'll be fun to add. So I'm just going to cut this out with my scissors. And by this time, everything is totally dry on the front of the card, so you don't have to worry about anything smearing or anything like that. But I do like to use a liquid glue to put everything on the front rather than a tape runner, because then you can ensure that it's really going to stick. So I have my circles glued on the front, and now I'm going to do the foam dot on the back of the bat and add that to the front, kind of at a little angle like he's flying out of the card. And then I'm just going to finish off the card with some Halloween sequins. And these are also from the Cat Scrappiness Shop, and I love these because of the colors and also because they have the cute little spider webs inside of them as well. So I kind of use the spider webs as sort of to fan out and kind of fan out from the sentiment, to sort of show off the sentiment a little bit. And then I'm putting all the sequins down with a little bit of glossy accents, and it's always helpful to use one of these little quick pickup stick things too with the sequins, because I get clumsy, so I need something to kind of guide me. I'm using the colored sequins from the Halloween set, and then I'm also using a couple of the clear, there's sort of like clear, sparkling clear enamel sequins as well. They're not sequins, but they're just the clear little domes, and I like those because they just add a little something without adding any color, sort of like a neutral. And that's everything. So there you have a ton of texture with the paste and that great shimmer with all the sugar, and that's it. I love all that shimmer and then the cute sentiment inside. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'll have all the products I used linked on both the Cat Scrappiness blog and my blog, along with a coupon code. And I'll see you next time.